What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to BRICkast desktop builds for another episode of LEGO Battlebots. Today I am showing off my mock of Railgun Max, who is one of my favorite new robots from last season. I really liked the Eggbeater spinner design. I loved the red and yellow color scheme, and I decided to replicate this one in LEGO. This is another one where I just started experimenting, thinking of what robots I could build out of my collection, and I actually had almost all the pieces for this guy in my collection. I had to order a few pieces, like these yellow slopes and some of these yellow scoops right here, but it ended up coming together super nicely, and I'm really proud of this one. This one has one of my favorite weapon designs of all the LEGO BattleBots I've worked on. As you can see, the spinning Eggbeater is super nice, and then kind of a last-minute add-on was this mini-bot, because the Railgun Max team is shown in a lot of its photos as having a mini-bot with them, and this guy kind of rolls around, scoops stuff up, the same way that I think the team just had some extra weight after they built their robot, so they added on this mini-bot, but it looks pretty nicely paired together. So now I want to break down one of my favorite parts of this mock, which is the Eggbeater spinner weapon that Railgun Max is known for. It has a weighty end, which we're going to build, and it also has kind of a lighter end, so it's imbalanced, and it has a space in between where you can actually see the axle that it rotates on. Now what we've got here are just some Technic lift arms. I've already stuck the Technic pins in there, so we're going to connect these two parts together. Now first what we want to do is grab this little Technic, I guess it's 1x1 Technic brick that's round. I'm not really sure what this piece is called, but it's super useful. And we're actually going to slide this right through the Technic pin, just like that. That's going to give you the heavy side of the weapon, the big hitter portion of it. And then we are going to take this Technic pin and we're going to slide that through this hole right here. Try to keep the other piece on. Then we're sort of going to make a sandwich out of it. You can kind of see half of the weapon coming together, and then you're going to pick up this final lift arm. These yellow lift arms worked really well as a color scheme for Railgun Max. Go nicely with the red for the Chinese robot. And we're going to attach this right there and press that down just so it's even. Now we can see the shape of that weapon really starting to form, and then we're just going to push this pin right onto that. It takes a little bit of lining up, but there we go. Now the weapon is all the way through, and this kind of captures the entire shape of Railgun Max's weapon, where you have the one end, which is heavy for hitting and dealing damage. Then you have the sort of support beam structure right here by this Technic pin, but also in Railgun Max's actual blade, you can see the center bar that it rotates around. And we have that as well by using these two lift arms with the Technic pin. We can create that sort of transparency in the middle of the weapon, and this one sure spins nice. So we're going to get to mounting the Eggbeater weapon on Railgun Max's body, but first I wanted to spotlight this piece right here, which is the sloped piece with holes in it. Sort of a great pattern. I really like how this piece fits on and represents the armor that goes in front of Railgun Max's wheel. It's sort of a triangular shaped wedge with holes in it, and I'm not sure the exact function of it, but it looks really neat, and when I saw that, I immediately thought of this piece and was able to get some in yellow, and they look super nice on the build. We just pop it on these yellow brackets right here in front of each wheel, and you can see now Railgun Max has some wheel protection that is super flush with the wheels and is very reminiscent of the robot's actual armor. So now we can move on to the Eggbeater. For mounting the weapon on, we just have a downward facing Technic pin modified plate right here, and this is going to go on this side of Railgun Max, where we have these two open studs, and as you probably guessed, these two pieces fit right together, and it does make our robot asymmetrical, unfortunately. As you can see right here, I've used one of these rounded sloped bricks that is about, I think, 3 studs high. And then over here, we have a bit of a different look, but that was the most flush way I could figure out to actually mount the weapon while keeping Railgun Max look nice and smooth on this side. And as far as the weapon goes, this is one of my favorite weapons I've designed for a BattleBot, maybe second only to my design for Rotator. I think this weapon really matches the actual weapon that we see on Railgun Max, and it spins in an extremely satisfying way. So that does it for this showcase of Railgun Max. As far as this bot goes, I think it rolls super nicely. I really like how mobile it is, how functional the weapon is, and I'm honestly pretty proud of my technique for just using some Technic lift arms and Technic pieces to accomplish a super accurate rendition of the weapon. The mini bot is probably the worst part of the build. I just kind of threw this thing together. As you can see, it's super simple, just kind of a regular 2x2 axle piece with some tiny wheels and a little wedge. But it looks nice all together with the robot. I wanted to put everything that's in the team photo in this build, and I think overall one of my favorite robots. I'm really looking forward to seeing Railgun Max next season. Hopefully it can qualify for the tournament, and as far as how it looks in LEGO, I think it looks pretty good. Well, thank you guys for watching this episode of BRICkast Desktop Builds, just showcasing a Railgun Max BattleBot mock. I will see you guys next time for some more BattleBots.